I feel like I manifested this moment because when I first like got into wholesaling and like got DealMachine, I was like, I'm gonna be on there one day and they're gonna interview me because I'm gonna get this big deal, and I just know it and I just feel it. And like every morning in my meditation and my visualization, I would like visualize this every single day. And like now I'm actually here doing it.
There you are. Hi.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, I love your shirt.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm just getting out my notepad because I'm going to be writing down all the things about this deal because I'm excited to hear about it. First off, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's so exciting. Oh, here, let me do. I like to be different. We have a cowbell instead of a traditional bell.
You know what? I told my team that. I told my partner that the other day. I was like, we should get a cowbell, and I'm just going to walk around the office ringing it all the time. And she's like, no.
Oh, man, let me tell you. And the fact that these guys have, like, grips on them, you definitely could just two-hand it, like, all the time.
Cool. I really like that.
I'm just saying, if you need the link, I got one for you, and they weren't too bad. Where are you located?
So my office is in Rancho Cucamonga. It's in Southern California, but we do most of our business either in Los Angeles or in the high desert. The high desert's like going to Vegas.
Oh, man, I'm learning so much right now from being a Midwestern person. I have no idea what half of that is. So I'm glad you put like context with it because I'm like, high desert, what's this?
Yeah, I live close to LA, basically.
That's an incredibly, people would say, competitive market.
Yeah, that's what they say. I don't know what that means though. Because I feel like so I'm a real estate agent. I started out in real estate sales, and I feel like if you have really good sales skills, when you go to meet with sellers, they're going to already tell the professional difference. And I feel that a lot of people want to work with the professional. So if you can communicate effectively, it's a lot easier to get business, I feel.
Oh my gosh, you've already like knowledge bombs just like dropping out there for us about like acting. I mean, that's so true. And actually we just had a member on last night who said that it helps to be like just have a sense of professionalism with it, and then they feel they can trust you more.
Yeah, definitely.
So I know I just like kind of hit the ground running with things, but I'd love to hear kind of your background and like what got you into real estate investing, how long you've been in it.
Yeah, definitely. So in 2019, I had really got like super into sales and developing my sales skills. I was at a really like cool brokerage that showed me how to sell things. So I ended up taking like 15 listings that year, when the year before I had only done like 3 transactions. I finished the year with like 20 clients. But I didn't make that much money. I made like 70 grand, and then I walked away with only 50. So at the end of the year, I went actually to Europe, and I went to Spain. And I remember when I was in Spain, I was overlooking like the whole city of Barcelona, and I felt like depressed. I was like, man, I don't want to go back to the States. I don't even know if I want to be a real estate agent anymore. Like it didn't feel fulfilling to me. So when I got back to the States, I was still kind of like bummed out. And then this situation just kind of came into my lap where this person offered to show me how to wholesale. So he basically brought me on as like an acquisitions manager. But unfortunately, I didn't know anything about wholesaling or actually how to build a business. So he just had me doing that. And I never learned how to assign a contract. I didn't know anything. I just knew how to sell and make calls and lock up deals. So things started going like south with him. I didn't like the way he was running the business. I found within myself, doing a lot of soul searching, that I wanted to build my own business. I didn't believe in myself though. So I went through like this whole like mental reprogramming. And then I just left and I made my own company. And now we have 4 people working with us. And we're about to bring another person on, which is really exciting. And I have a business partner as well. His name's Joe, and he's really awesome. So yeah, that's how I got into wholesaling. So really, we started our wholesale business in September of 2020. And then we really hit the ground running in 2021. And it's been a lot of ups and downs. And I can go more into that if you want to know. So yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, first off, like that's huge personal growth on your end of like, I think so many people can relate to the fact that, you know, you get stuck in that, like, I can't do this. There's so much like bad self-talk that you can give yourself, that you really can talk yourself out of anything. You don't need help from anybody else.
Yeah.
But the fact that you like really looked at yourself and was like, I can do this. Like
Yeah.
you climbed out of that hole and you were like, we got this. So yes, I do want to go into, I definitely have some questions I would love to ask you, but first I'd like if you could take us through this deal that you posted.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
I'd love to hear it from like start to finish, like how it happened, anything that hiccups that might have happened or anything, or maybe it was smooth sailing, who knows.
Yeah. So also when I tell you guys this story, I'm just talking to everyone. When I tell you this story, you're gonna see why I don't believe in competition, and I'll tell you what we did to service this client to gain her business. So basically, I got to shout out my son's mother because she kept telling me, I really feel, they say like a woman's intuition. I really feel like we need to get DealMachine. I really feel like we need to get DealMachine. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So one day I was like, you know what? I've been thinking about it. And I think we need to get DealMachine. So she's like, okay. She's like, if you don't want to get it, I'll just buy it for you right now. So she bought it. She bought it, and I got it. And then I think it was probably within like the first month of no, I lied. It was like within the first 3 months of having DealMachine, we went all out. So every single month since we got DealMachine, we've added 1,000 properties every single month. And so I was driving, I actually just got out of the gym, I think. And my parents called me and they're like, hey, we found this house. So shout out my mom and my dad, because I would not have this deal if it was not for them. They said, hey, we found this deal. Why don't you come check it out? So I went to check it out. It turned out there was actually a bank owned home.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, I'm already out here. I had like an acai bowl. I was like, I'm just going to go put on some like Rufus Du Sol and drive around. So I was driving around and I found this house. And I don't know, I just got like this weird feeling inside of me. I was like, I have a good feeling about this house. So anyways, I added it. I went on, I added probably like 30 to 50 more properties in that little session of driving. I went back home. Next week, I'm cold calling, and I actually called this seller 8 times on my dialer. So I called her a bunch of times until I finally got a hold of her. And this is what really sets us apart, I think, again, with the competition. So when we got on the phone, she said, I'm going through a lot of stuff right now. My daughter's actually in the hospital. She might pass away. She has COVID and she has cirrhosis of the liver. So yeah, it's rough. So I said, okay. And she's like, so I want to sell, but I want to sell in 4 months. And I said, okay, that's fine. No problem. I said, well, one of the reasons why people like working with you is because we actually work around your time frame. So let me ask you this. If we could actually give you a 120-day escrow, is that something that you would be open to? I can just stop by, take a look at the property, and then make you an offer, and then we can decide and go from there. How does that sound? She's like, yeah, that's fine. Why don't you come over? So I went over, I met with her, I brought the contract, and we ended up talking for like an hour. This house is in really bad condition. Like when I walked in, I am terrified of spiders, and there was cobwebs everywhere in one of the rooms. So she has a bad hip. She can't really walk. So in one of the rooms, there was literally like rat feces everywhere. Like it was so bad. But it's a really big home in a really nice neighborhood. So it has a lot of potential. But anyways, the house was in terrible condition. She told me that her son actually just passed away last fall. Yeah, so she's going through a lot. So she's just kind of like, she can't even leave her house because she can't drive, can't do much. So she's there. She said, I want to move into like a senior living facility, kind of have a better living situation. So I want to sell the house, but I don't know what's going to happen with my daughter. I said, okay, that's fine. We were in really good rapport because even though she was going through like so much, I guess, turmoil or, bad things in life, she had like such a positive attitude and outlook on life. And she made me laugh a lot. So we were in really good rapport. By the end of the appointment, I didn't even have to ask her to sign the contract. She actually asked me. She's like, so you brought that for me to sign today? I was like, yeah, I did. And she's like, okay, well, am I going to sign it or not? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I just gave it to her and she's like, okay. So she signed it. And then it was like very smooth. So next day I go to the office because that was on the weekend. I go to the office and I blast a deal out to our cash buyers list. And this is like the hottest deal we've ever had. So within like 10 minutes, I had multiple people wanting to make offers on it. And I didn't think that I was going to make that much money. I thought I'd probably make like 25 grand. I saw that one of my friends that's a flipper, they had just made like 30, 40 grand. So I was like, okay, maybe I can make 30. So I put it out and people just kept like bidding on it. I know like some flippers don't like that when there's like a bidding war, but people were bidding on it. And someone offered me 45 grand for the property. So I said, yeah, cool, I'll take it.
And what did you get it under contract for?
200,000.
Okay.
200.
I wanted to make sure I got that one. Okay, go on. I'm
Yeah,
on the edge of my
got
seat
like the
here.
most important part. So we got locked up at 200. Now, again, I know people don't like this. I was just learning how to wholesale. It probably wasn't proper etiquette. This person actually signed the assignment contract at 45 grand. And I said, you know what? Like literally after I got that, someone said, I'll give you 265 for the property. And I was like, I called them and the lady was really cool. I was like, hey, this other flipper told me that they would give me 265. I really want to go with them. Can you match it? And she's like, let me talk to my acquisitions manager and see if we can do that for you. So I said, okay, cool. She called me back. She's like, we can do 265 and we'll let you list the property when we renovate it. So I was like, cool. So the person that offered me 245, they went up to 265. We ended up doing the 120-day escrow. Unfortunately, during the transaction, her daughter did end up passing away.
Oh.
Yeah. So she came home. It looked like she was going to get better, but then her health declined again. She did pass away. But the lady still wanted to move forward. So sorry, my email's like going up crazy.
You're totally fine.
I don't know how to turn it off or I would. Yeah, so she passed away. We closed. She moved into the senior living facility. It's a really nice area that she lives in now, so I'm really happy for her. She was very grateful for our services. She said she liked that we were very respectful of her because she's like, I'm an older person and people tend to talk to me like I'm dumb, and I like that you talk to me like a human and that you're very professional. So that's something that we really pride ourselves on, my company. Just being professional, creating a great experience for the customer and making sure that they want to tell their friends and family about us. And we have got referrals before too, just off of the service we provide. So yeah, that's the story.
That's so amazing. Well, again, congratulations. That's
Thanks.
amazing. And I think that that's such a good story and good tips on like how to build rapport and be so authentic and professional because these are human beings that are, she was in a very vulnerable spot someone could have easily taken advantage and tried to take advantage of her and where she was at. But that's amazing. I'm so happy for you and your team. And if you're okay with it, I'm going to dive into some of my questions. I have been taking mental notes. So you said you were adding 1,000 properties a month. Is that just you and your wife driving, or is it your whole team driving? How did you add 1,000 properties a month?
Yeah. So first off, I'm not married.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine. So me and my son's mother, it was just us in the beginning. We were adding 1,000 properties, and then my now business partner Joe came on. He's like my best friend. We actually make music together too. So we went from making music together to selling real estate. So it's really cool. So now he's on with me, and then my partner that I used to work with at the old company that I was first telling you about, his name's Elise. He joined us as well, and he's extremely good at sales. He's better than me. So having him, Leslie and Joe, it's 4 of us. And so we kind of divvy it up into 250 each. Sometimes we'll do 200. But yeah, so we've been getting 1,000 properties every single month.
That's incredible. So how many did you have all together before you got this deal?
I think I had anywhere between, I don't remember because it has been a while ago since I locked it up. We just closed, but I locked it up a while ago. It was anywhere between 1,000 to 3,000.
Okay. I'm curious only because in that area, we do tell people that you need at least 1,000 because it's just so hot there. And yeah.
What I've been noticing is for every 1,000 that we get, we're getting about 1 house a month.
Okay.
So right now we've been talking about upgrading to the next plan. Cause I'm if we're getting 1 a month at 1,000, what if we had 10,000 and we hired drivers? What could we do then?
You just double everything and
I know.
it would just go skyrocketing from there.
I know. Yeah.
And I think that's so exciting though, because you guys have just your post just was so awesome, and I you can tell how genuine y'all are, and that makes me want to go out to California and like follow you guys around for like a day
Hey, that'd
and
be
just
awesome.
see. I mean, I hope that we can do that sometime soon. But so what does the how many deals then have you guys done in 2021?
We've closed 7, right? This month alone, though, we've already locked up 5. So the reason why we had again, if I could talk about this for a little bit, this is not like, it has not been easy. Being a real estate agent and being a wholesaler is 2 different things. Being a wholesaler is actually being an entrepreneur and actually building a business. When you're a real estate agent, you're like working for a broker. You're basically a very high paid salesperson. I am now founder and CEO of my company along with my partner, and we're legitimately building a company where we're hiring people, we're scaling, we're learning delegation, and it's a completely different thing. So building this company and implementing these systems in the beginning, so there was actually a point in time before, like, we just closed 3 deals this month and the company made $145,000. Before that though, just like 2 months ago, I was about to go out of the country to an event that I had been invited to, and I literally ran out of money. I had no money. Like, I put all my money into marketing, all my money into building this business. I put literally everything on the line. I had no money, and I had to borrow $3,000 from my son's mother to keep the business afloat. So she's been like a huge part of this. Also, my partner Joe, he had to go back and get a regular job. So he started working like selling loans for a lender. And so we went through like this ups and downs. And when Joe first left, it was very difficult because Joe's very skilled on the phone, and he's like just as good, if not better than me at sales, I feel. And so what happened was fear started creeping back into my mind, and I'm like, man, Joe's not here. I don't know if I want to put this much money into marketing. So right before Joe left, like, we were doing like 3 to 5 deals a month. That's a whole nother story that I'll cover right now. Try to keep it brief. But when Joe left, it started tanking. And the reason why was because we cut back on our marketing because I was scared. And when you're a leader, you cannot be scared because the whole company, like my best friends and my family is working with me. And it's like, I have to perform. So once I broke out of that like cycle of fear, we started getting deals again. Now, again, this is a new company, and wholesaling's running comps for like flips is way different than running comps for listings. Listings much easier. Being a real estate agent, much easier. Like with flips, you got to calculate the ARV. Is it in the right area? Is there like major traffic? Like all these different things that come into play. And so we were getting a lot of deals locked up in the beginning, and they weren't selling at all. So it's like we're getting all these deals under contract and they're not selling. We were either locking them up too high, or we even had other wholesalers like go behind our back. Me and Joe, when we first started, we couldn't, it was like too good to be true. We got an 8-unit apartment building under contract, and we were assigning it. We already had the assignment out for $200,000. We were going to make $200,000 like within our first month of starting. And we were like, oh my God, we're going to make $1 million. Like, we were tripping out. Anyways, we sent that out to our cash buyers list, but one of the wholesalers that got a hold of it, they sent it out to their list. So we had like a pre-marketing to a few select people that we work with. So one of those people is a wholesaler. He's actually a great guy. We did another deal with him, and nothing wrong with him at all. It just, like, I guess it got into the wrong hands. And so other people had been marketing our deal before we even brought the deal to market. So by the time we brought the deal to market, people were actually making fun of us. Like, oh, I've seen this deal. It was like the joke in like Southern California of the industry. And so these people got a hold of the deal, and they went behind our back directly to the seller. Now, there was 2 sellers. One of them, he's a real estate investor, and he's super cool. He's like, I don't care if you guys are wholesaling it. I don't care if you're signing it. I don't care if you make 100 grand, 200. I don't care what you make, as long as I get what I want. Super cool guy. But his partner, she was a real estate agent. And I've noticed a lot of real estate agents, they don't always like wholesalers. That's just my experience. But then I've heard a lot of good stories about real estate agents too. Anyways, she did not like that we were wholesaling it. She's like, I don't like wholesalers. And I was like, okay. So we had to end up canceling. And then that buyer just went directly to the seller and cut us out of the deal. And so those were like really like challenging experiences that we had. So it hasn't been easy, but the thing that I'll say going through all of this is you have to have a really, really strong mindset. I have a very strict morning routine. Like I wake up, I meditate, I pray, I visualize, I go to the gym, I read books, I listen to positive affirmations, and I say positive affirmations. And so like I'm always working on my brain, and that's been able to help me get through this. Cause like if I would have done this last year, the year before, I used to like really struggle with anxiety. There's no way I would have just like crashed and like went and slept for the rest of the year. So yeah, it's been a challenge, but massive growth, and it's been
Oh my
awesome.
gosh. That's an amazing, you literally just dropped so many nuggets of like thank you for being so open with our community about like just the ups and the downs, because I think it is when we do these, I love sharing successes and celebrating with you guys when you share your stories with us. But I think it's really important that everyone hears like, it's not just, you made 50K. It was, hey, we went through all of this and I was at my lowest of lows and like all this stuff, because that shows you're human and that it happens. Like you have to give yourself grace. It's not just like, well, this happened and I'm over and that's it. I must
Yeah,
not be cut out for this.
exactly.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for coming on here and talking to me, because that literally, you answered like half of my questions just by telling that wonderful story,
Oh,
because it's like, because I mean, that shows me like the growth that you guys had. And I guess one question I do have is what is your end goal for 2021? Like business wise, like, do you guys have a goal of how many deals you guys want to get wrapped up by the end of the year?
my goal was 27. I personally wanted to make 400,000 in income. I've already made slightly over 100. So I feel that with the way that we're going, that I can hit that. We're trying to figure, that's the thing. Like, I know that sounds kind of bad because you're supposed to track your KPIs, but like, we've been trying to figure out like, how much do we want to make? Cause since we have been on an upward trajectory and we actually, so that's the other thing now too, guys. When you're making a lot of money, most people, and I'm just speaking from a real estate agent's perspective, it is such a flashy business. Like they want to just go and buy like Gucci and Balenciaga. I bought those things. That's why I'm saying that, because I like those things, but I do it in moderation. But you have to be mature. You have to be a business person. And so you can't just take all your money and go spend it on frivolous things. You have to take your money, you have to put it back into the business. So me and my partner, we took $10,000 and we put it into an account, and that's strictly for marketing. So now we're sending out 1,000 text blasts every single day. And we're also driving still, adding 1,000 properties a month. And we're making sure that, so we actually text blast our driving for dollars. We text blast and call them. So we're hitting them from two angles. And with that, with what we're doing now, and that we actually have a legitimate marketing budget, we don't really know what we want to do. We're like, if we just go really hard, maybe we could hit 1 million. But I'm hoping that we could cross like 500K in like sales for the year. That would be really cool. That math made
I
no sense.
no, but I got where you were like, we're going, we're where we're going.
Yeah.
And I do think that you guys could definitely at least double just by hiring some more drivers. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, that ends up paying off itself with, if you get another, maybe get the 6-figure deal, and then it's just like, hey. And I love that you got like, I love that buyer said, oh, we'll get you the match the other guy and we'll let you list it. So like, that's just like amazing, because you get the
Yeah.
both benefit of both sides of it.
They
Are
were
you?
smooth, really
No,
easy
go
to work
ahead.
with. It's a really big company. I don't think I should say their name. I don't know if I should or not. But they're a very, very big acquisitions company, and working with them was just like the easiest thing in the world. And I
Oh,
would
you
work with
gotta
them.
love that.
Yeah, so get this. We're selling another deal to them right now. We're like in the process of negotiating it. That one's like 60 grand. And my partner, EC, found that one in
Is
LA.
that a DealMachine?
I don't know how we found, I want to say it was because that's the neighborhood we've been driving, but we've also been like pulling lists on that one. So I can't give you a specific answer.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna think that it's DealMachine.
Yeah, we'll just say it is. We've got a few from DealMachine though, for sure.
How many, do you know how many roughly?
I want to say, I know we've got at least 3.
Awesome.
Yeah. I want to say, I think we got DealMachine in March. I can't remember though. I really
Oh my
need to
gosh.
taking better track of this stuff.
Hey, but what I love though is a lot of people get like really hung up on the processes that they don't take the action. So like, I get it. And plus y'all, I mean, and that's why the email thing doesn't bother me, because y'all are moving so fast. You have so many things going on too as real estate investors and a real estate agent. Like, you're in constant communication with somebody at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're go, 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 go. So I just appreciate you taking time to talk. I definitely will link any of your, I mean, we can even link your songs, the music that you and Joe produced together. Like, we can put that
cool.
we can put that in the description if you want.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Anything else that you need from me, I can help you guys on. You now have my phone number in my signature, so you can always text me if you guys need anything.
Cool. Awesome. I don't think so. I think want to say something in closing, because
Sure.
Cool. I feel like I manifested this moment, because when I first like got into wholesaling and like got DealMachine, I was like, I'm gonna be on there one day and they're gonna interview me because I'm gonna get this big deal, and I just know it and I just feel it. And like every morning in my meditation and my visualization, I would like visualize this every single day. And like now I'm actually here doing it. So the reason why I say that is because when you have like a vision and you get obsessed with your vision and you don't let anything stop you from that vision, like it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time and grit and like taking massive consistent action, like Tony Robbins says. So yeah, just want to say that.
That was fabulous. I love that. I'm so excited that I hope it was all that you hoped it would be.
It was even better. It was even better.
I love this, because then we build connections, and then maybe, I would love, like I said, one day to come out there and like follow you guys around and have one of our camera guys like do a whole case study on you guys.
Let's do it. That'd be cool.
I would also love you guys to, if you're closing, we do the webinars bi-weekly. Sorry, my words are hard today. But we look for members that close like, do 3 to 5 deals a month with us that we bring on, and then you guys can be featured and, give you some really good, I'm trying to think of the word.
Exposure.
Thank you. Exposure. And then also like, people can come up and ask you questions and stuff like that. I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in, but
yeah, definitely.
I definitely want to keep in contact to have that. And we actually do have I feel like I'm pitching you on things, but they're just like things that bring you more exposure. We're doing the Instagram story takeovers for DealMachine, and I offer that to people who use us in their everyday life. And it's basically like, you get to take over our Instagram and show everyone how you use DealMachine. And so I'll send you the link for that too, if you're interested.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
and if you're comfortable with it, I know you talked a little bit about the scaling thing. I'll intro you to one of our real estate architects of like scaling to see if the next plan makes sense for you guys or not.
Yeah, I would love that.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank you again so much, and reach out if you need anything at all, please.
For sure. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.